Hi friends, Suzanne here. Welcome to another paper pumpkin alternative video on my YouTube channel and blog. If you're new to my channel, I want to say hi. This video will share 5 alternative projects to stretch your paper pumpkin supplies. If you don't know what paper pumpkin is, click the link in the description box below and check it out. I always show what's in the box before I ignore all the instructions and create my own masterpieces. So come along with me as I attempt to create out of the box. Hello friends, welcome to the Pick of the Crop Paper Pumpkin Alternative video for June 2022. I'm going to share with you what's in the kit. The Calypso Coral I'm going to swap out for the larger size. And we have the stamp set there. You can see some strawberry and fruit images along with thinking of you, love you a whole bunch, you're the pick of the crop, and you're the sweetest sentiment. So there's a little paper in here and it says that we get like a bag for this paper pumpkin, and it's showing us where to get it. We can scan it, and also on this side, sending good thoughts, we can scan to play and earn a free paper pumpkin. So inside this kit comes, let's see, the kit components contain supplies for 9 cards and 9 envelopes, and the coordinating Stampin' Up! Colors are Blackberry Bliss, Cajun Craze, Calypso Coral, Crushed Curry, Garden Green, Night of Navy, and Soft Succulent. Gives you the directions. I always say to take note of the ruler on the right hand side of the instructions. And there's also their own alternatives that you can make with this card kit. All right, and these are all the supplies that we're going to use. Alternatively, I pretty much took 1 card base from every bit, and I also took a couple envelopes. So, and I've always said if you wanted to copy my designs, you should always have some white, thick cardstock. So I wrote down the sizes. You could screenshot if you wanted to create this card exactly like I have. This is the Calypso Coral. I'm using a non-porous surface, which is a laminated grid mat. And I'm softly, and I say softly, so softly because I'm sped this up so you can see how long it took me to build up a very slight color of Calypso Coral. Surprisingly, Calypso Coral is a great shade for strawberries. Who knew? And I am going to remind you of some of, well, anyway, I have a story later. So yes, here I am blending on the Calypso Coral on a piece of basic white. So what I'm going to do is cut off this blueberry. It does not belong there. And then I am bringing in, and you can't see that, it is a Uniball Signo pigment white pen. And it is from Mitsubishi Pencil Company Limited. And you will find this on Amazon, and it is a pigment ink. And what it does is it fixes your errors. So you saw I had a little bit of blue from that blueberry, and now I don't. It's magic. It's magic of pigment ink. All right, so I'm adhering my blended Calypso Coral white page on top of another Calypso Coral page, just a scrap that I had. Of course, you could use a neutral as well if you don't have this particular color. So black would work, you know, smoky slate would work, anything like a neutral would work. All right, so I'm just placing my strawberry kind of where I want it. And then the sentiment says, you're the pick of the crop. And I ink that up with Memento Tuxedo Black ink. Sometimes a black ink is where it's at. So I put the dimensionals on the back of this strawberry. And I know someone's going to say, well, it's not the right shape for a strawberry. But I'll be honest, these remind me of wild strawberries. And I have a story about that in a minute. Okay, here we are with card number 2. I have used the stripy card base for this card, and also some of the die cuts in the kit. So what I'm doing with this stripy card base is I'm cutting out the picnic blanket. I think that's a picnic blanket. Anyway, it's a plaid square, so I'm going to cut that out. One of the nice things about our trimmer is even though we don't have a guideline, we can kind of tell with where the groove is, and we're able to cut away the exact part that we want to cut away. All right, so this is garden green. If you remember, I did say that there was a garden green was one of the colors in the paper pumpkin kit. I'm trying my best to write down the sizes so you can screenshot if you want to duplicate this card exactly, or another card design similar to it. I'm basically creating the grass under the picnic blanket, and then there's going to be a whole bunch of strawberries and blueberries on the corner edge of the picnic basket. So that's Blackberry Bliss there, and I'm just adhering all of this to my card base, which is basic white. So here's my picnic blanket, and I'm going to cut it in half. Don't throw that little extra piece away because I will be using it in another card design that you will see here. I have the dimensional adhesive that came in the kit. It's a little bit thicker than what we normally get, but that's okay. So I'm going to sort of put the picnic blanket where I wanted it. And then I noticed that the blueberries would hang over the edge, so I cut a square edge. And I know there's this square edge on the strawberries, and if I was, now that I'm thinking about it, I do have a leftover strawberry and blueberry, and I could probably stick that on the corner so that you don't have a misshapen strawberry. So what I usually do before I stamp anything down is that I sort of season it. And by seasoning it, I mean inking it up and stamping it a couple of times. Excuse my head there. So here I am with some of the twine. I doubled it up so there's 2 pieces. So there's like 4 strings going through. This is the fold. And hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to do a bow here as soon as I get this through the back or the hole. This was a die cut that came with the kit. I did notice that they gave a lot of extras in this kit. So not necessarily card bases, but for sure they gave a lot of extra die cuts. So you can have fun creating and creating. All right, so I've cut that string, and then I decided, okay, I'm going to do a double bow. So I'm now cutting all the ends even, and I am going to cut a double bow.
2 hours later.
It wasn't quite that long, but it was torture. So I cut it all out of the video for you. All right, so there is my card. I did put Wink of Stella on the strawberries and the blueberries. And that is card number 2. Make sure you guys make note and tell me in the comments below which card you liked, 1 through 5. Okay, here we go with card number 3. I have some vellum and I think these are, I don't even know. They kind of, I don't know what kind of flowers. Never mind. I have no clue. If you know, make mention in the comment below. All right, since I cut the other bow out of the video, and I shall do so with this one, I doubled up, I cut it in half, I'm tying a knot, and then I stuck the, let's just say they're lavender, even though I know it's not lavender. a flower bunch through, and then I tied a knot, and it took just as long as the other one did. Now I'm taking my Excalibur letter opener, and I always have to do a flourish, and I like to say en garde too to anybody around me, if anyone is around me while I'm crafting. En garde. My name is Indigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Actually, completely wrong story. All right, anyway, here I am writing down, measuring and writing down the envelope that I cut down. And then this is the outside of the envelope. And I'm double measuring so that I'm really trying to make sure that you guys have measurements. You can screenshot that and cut it as you like. All right, so I'm putting, my favorite adhesive is Seal Plus. I have a love-hate relationship with it. I love it that it's super sticky and super strong. I dislike it because the application sometimes is difficult. So I always say I have a love-hate relationship. So I am trying to use less and less of it because I don't need as much. And I am trying to be frugal because I am not made of money. All right, so I've adhered that to my card base, and now with dimensionals, I'm putting on my flower. I'm going to cut some of the linen thread away. And again, I'm still fussing with the bows. You guys don't even know half the battle, or maybe you do. Like, however long it takes you to make a bow, I will tell you it takes me 5 times as long. And I really try. It's because I'm on camera, I'm sure of it, and also because I have cats. So I'm always like shifty looking over my shoulder to see where they are, not really focused. Okay, anyway, so this is Blackberry Bliss. I am using the Thinking of You sentiment, and I had to use this color. I didn't want Calypso Coral, honestly. Anyway, I cut that bit down, and sometimes this is how it works. I will put my little rectangle or what have you, and I will put it on a thing, and then I'll just cut it out like with my own scissors and eyeball things. So I'm not going to tell you how what size this is, because I truly, sometimes you just got to go with, you know, go with the flow. You trim it down to the size that looks right to you, the sentiment, and then you can cover it with and flank it or whatever with your mat and just eyeball it. So, and you can see I used the scalloped edge sticking out, and I put too many dimensionals on, so I have to go in and snip it. That is not ruining the foundation at all. It's just making room so that this little bit can go inside, and I'm tilting it. So I think that looked perfect right there. Flipping up the little bit, the little vellum bit. And of course I went in with Wink of Stella all over the flowers, but mainly, and I'm giving you a close-up here of what I did with the Wink of Stella. I made the Wink of Stella like little droplets on my card. So I just touched the paper so that a little bit of the liquid would come out and make little sparkly dots. So it gives an extremely subtle yet beautiful sparkly background that was purposeful, and yeah, I liked it. And I didn't waste any Wink of Stella. Okay, here we go with card number 4. Again, here's my story about these strawberries. They do not look like normal strawberries. To me, they look like strawberries, like, what are they? Wild strawberries. And back in 2019, the very first incentive trip that I ever earned, I ended up going to it was the Greek Isles, and then I stayed a week longer in Rome. And I went on a tour to about an hour away from Rome. And should I be telling this story and telling you what I'm doing? Hang on. I'll tell you what I'm doing. Here, I use shaded spruce as the blends colors. I stamped with Memento Tuxedo black ink. I went in first with my light color and then in with my dark color. And you can see I made even a little floop right there. And then, yeah, so this was going in with the dark, so I left the middle light or white, and then I went in and with the light and covered it. And then I'm cutting them all out, fussy cutting. So we went an hour away from Rome. This is a little town called Nemi. And Nemi is known for their strawberries. And that little terrace there, I sat down and had a breakfast strawberry tart that was filled with strawberries that were misshapen and natural. Like, these are the ones that you find in the wild. So a beautiful, and it brought me back to that lovely time where I had a lovely strawberry tart and an espresso coffee, and looking over this ravine, this beautiful landscape. That particular, I'm not joking, that specific particular piazza. Moving on from Rome, Italy. Who wants to take a vacation to Italy? I do. My best friend just got married, and they, the lovely wedded couple, went to Italy and a whole bunch of different places. I was super, super envious. They brought me back 100-year-old balsamic vinegar, though, so I'm pretty excited. Okay, I'll stop talking about Italy. That was 2 inches wide, that little strip, and it was an envelope. I have destroyed the envelopes and not the card bases so that you are able to duplicate these designs easily without using all your entire kit, because this kit was pretty cute. If you look at what the projects were that we were intended to do, lovely. All right, so that was a 2-inch by 1-inch square. That's a 3/4 inch strip of the envelope up on dimensionals, and then I'm going to flank it with 5 strawberries, 5 wild strawberries. And this, like I said, this town in Rome is known for their wild strawberries. They have a wild strawberry festival. I am not joking. You can see the strawberries hanging around the town. The town is known for these wild strawberries. And I mean, I brought back jam for my mom. I tried to save mine as long as I could, but then I just thought that was gross and had to eat it. When you buy strawberries jam from Italy, you must eat it within a year, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, just fussing with the placement, and I think only one needed to be popped up, so I was easily able to remove the dimensionals. Oh, I love this card. And of course I had to coat anything sweet with Wink of Stella. It is a moral imperative. I will be disappointed in you if you didn't coat your strawberries with Wink of Stella. Or well, it doesn't have to be Wink of Stella, it could be anything sparkly. Moving on to the last and final card. Again, make sure you vote 1 through 5. So this was one of the card bases that came in the kit, and again, I am slicing off the middle, so I could use that cards, I am going to use the back side of the card there. I'm cutting off about 2 3/4 inches. I just wanted to get that strawberry. And then I decided to actually use the trimmer instead of eyeballing it, and made my card base or my card backing really just a little bit bigger. I could measure it for you right this second. All right, so yeah, it was 2 3/4, and then it was 3 inches. Okay, so here is that flower cart, and I am cutting out the awning, and I am going to trim that on the 3rd awning color. How's that? And then I'm going to put adhesive on the back side of my, I had to figure it out twice because sometimes putting adhesive is difficult. And I'm just going to make a pretty scallop. Now, I have a little caveat here. Had I taken that little piece of picnic blanket, it would have been much easier, but I adhered it down first. Then I cut this down, and I shouldn't have. So anyway, I put the peak at 1 inch, and then, well, and that cut really badly, so I had to recut it. So I put the peak at the inch, or the pointy part as 1 inch. Then because I knew I needed it to be 2 inches, and then I just cut my little piece down. Now, it would have been a lot easier to put this down before I put that down, if you know what I'm saying. So anyway, I put adhesive on my little picnic blanket. That's what I'm calling it anyway. Then I had to lift up all the scallops underneath. And then I sort of had to stuff it under. But I managed to get it through. You know how sometimes you get into those tight little situations. But I thought it was the perfect thing to extend the scallops. It's right next to the strawberry, so the color goes. I stamped with my Blackberry Bliss ink, and the sentiment says, "I love you a whole bunch." And I adhered that to a piece of Blackberry Bliss that I had as a scrap, and I just stuck it down, and then just used my scissors like I said, and just eyeballed it. And you know, most of the time you're gonna be okay with that. I popped that up on dimensionals, and I placed that right over top of the picnic blanket. And then I put Wink of Stella all over the card. Okay, cheeky monkeys, that was my 5th and final card for the Pick of the Crop Paper Pumpkin for June 2022. I also want you to know that folks who subscribe to Paper Pumpkin with me get an additional PDF emailed directly to them with a dozen more alternative ideas, and they also gain entry into my special VIP Facebook group where there's a lot more inspiration. So I appreciate all of you who are watching, commenting. If you don't see your comment right away, it will be there. It just has to be approved by admin. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.